Hello ladies and gentlemen, Blue Goblin here, doing something that I very rarely ever do. I'm going to review a wrestling show. As some of you may know, most people that know me personally know that I am a huge pro wrestling fan. I've been a pro wrestling fan for over 20 years, and quite frankly, I still believe in my heart that the product is dying right now, but I'm still trying to give it a chance, even though you got companies like WWE pissing me the fuck off with how dumb they're making the product, constantly shoving Cena down our throats and up our asses at the same time. It's getting ridiculous. It's been ridiculous for several years. And they have the gall to wonder why their ratings are lower than they've ever been, probably since 1995, but I'm just guessing that. But enough about the WWE shit. I'm here to talk about Ring of Honor Final Battle 2012. I know this review is way late, but I just got through watching a replay of this, and I honestly thought that this show was pretty good. It wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be. I'm not going to be an ROH bot and rate every star a 5-star classic and give it a 9.5 or a perfect 10 out of 10. No, I'm not going to do that. I'm going to be brutally honest and tell my honest thoughts about it. I'm going to go down the card. I copied and pasted the card. Just to make sure I don't accidentally leave anything out. Okay, the first match was Roderick Strong versus Michael Elgin. Why was this the opening match? I would have, if I was booking this card, I would have put maybe I maybe would have put the New York City Street Fight or the ROH Tag Team titles as the opening match. I don't know why this match was the opening match, because this match had such a huge build. Oh God, how many months was this building up? It was the end of the House of Truth, a big culmination, and it's opening the card. Okay, whatever. Strong versus Elgin. This actually was a really good match. I thought it was well paced. Some good stuff in here. Not really much to say. I liked some of the spots, and there was some decent selling in this match. That's one thing I love to see in professional wrestling, is some good selling, and there was some decent selling in here. Not excellent selling, but some decent stuff. And I love the Roderick Strong doing that backbreaker on the top rope, picking up Elgin and doing that. That was pretty good. And there was like what did the commentators call it later in the match? I think it was either Kevin Kelly or that new guy I don't give two shits about. A deadlift superplex off the top rope. That was a pretty impressive superplex. The match was going off really good, and Truth Martini coming out there. Yeah, I love that fucking guy. Truth Martini, he kind of looks like a Diet Coke version of. Kind of reminds me. He's like a Diet Coke version of Jimmy Hart to me. It's like, just give that fucker a megaphone and he's like the modern day version of Jimmy Hart. I mean, that's just how I feel about the guy. The manager role, I think, is dying in professional wrestling, and it needs to be resurrected. But Roderick Strong wins the match by hitting Michael Elgin with the Book of Truth, which to me made no sense. I mean, this is ROH's biggest pay-per-view of the year, and you had this match culminating and building and building and building. And in my opinion, the wrong guy went over in this match. The match itself was pretty decent. I actually liked it. But it was booked in the wrong spot. It shouldn't have been the opener, and Roderick Strong should not have won this match. I mean, this would have been a perfect opportunity to give Michael Elgin a good rub and help push him even further. But, what can you do? Although I gotta admit, I actually did mark out a little bit when Truth Martini got the shit beat out of him again. It was great. I love that fucking guy. He's a great heel manager, and I love seeing him get his ass kicked. I mean, Truth Martini is such a good salesman when he gets his ass whipped. It's just great stuff. I don't think I'm gonna give these matches star ratings. I'm just gonna say how I feel. The next matchup, Jay Lethal versus Rhino. I gotta agree with the video package that came before this match. Jay Lethal was cutting a promo on an ROH TV show, and he's basically saying, what's the fucking point of this match? What's the purpose? Lethal doesn't gain anything, Rhino doesn't gain anything, and neither men lose anything. What's the point? This match was just... I didn't even know this match was happening, you know, leading up to this pay-per-view. Now, I don't watch Ring of Honor every Saturday. I try to watch it as much as I can, and there have been times I've missed it. But what was the point of this match? To me, Steve Corino's commentary clearly outshined this match. Clearly outshined it. Steve Corino is he's got that old school heel commentary. That's heel commentary done right. I mean, this motherfucker should be giving Michael Cole some lessons about how to be a good heel commentator. I mean, he was just gold on the microphone. Just good stuff. Talking about Jay Lethal's mother and everything. It was just great. Lethal wins the match. The match felt a little short. It was a decent match. It was okay. I didn't think it was great. But then there was a pretty damn good segment between Steve Corino and Jay Lethal immediately after the match, and it led up to a beatdown in which Jay Lethal got the shit beat out of him. But good stuff. I mean, this is a great way to give Jay Lethal a good push. And it's like, we all know he's going to end up being in the world title picture here very shortly, and this was a good way to slowly build that up even further. Great stuff. I actually like the in-ring segment between Corino and Lethal better than the match between Lethal and Rhino. But the match itself was pretty good. Next up, you had R.D. Evans versus Prince Nana. Oh my God, this was the exact... This match was the exact opposite of what I was expecting. You know, you have basically two manager characters going head-to-head on a pay-per-view. I'm expecting to see some funny shit. I mean some funny shit. Like, you know, when you get a couple of managers in the ring, they don't wrestle. Excuse me. They don't actually wrestle. They get in there and fight. I mean, clothes getting ripped off, you know, teeth getting... Looks like guys are trying to bust each other's teeth out or something like that. Just swinging. If they're going to do some wrestling, make it deliberately look shitty. You know, it's like, we know these guys... Now we obviously know that these two guys can actually do some wrestling. But if you were going to do some wrestling spots with these two guys, make them deliberately do it shitty, but not too shitty to where they hurt themselves. You know, I was expecting a comedy match, and I was expecting, you know, Prince Nana to go over and have, like, R.D. Evans, like, running away, you know, acting like he's all crying and shit and everything. I was expecting to get a good laugh out of this, but we got an actual wrestling match out of this, and R.D. Evans goes over with what looked like an ass backwards Styles clash. I didn't get that. Another example of the wrong guy going over, and oh, I need to pause for a second. I need to let everybody know that also one thing else I noticed, that the New York City crowd just wasn't really that pumped into this whole show. A lot throughout this entire show, except for probably the main event. This crowd seemed a little dead in some spots, but R.D. Evans goes over, which I thought was the wrong decision, because that, to me, prolongs the feud. And when you get a big pay-per-view build, when you get a good build, usually you should resolve the feud and have the right guy go over and finish it once and for all. But obviously this means they're probably going to continue this shit. The next time, if you ever get R.D. Evans and Prince Nana in the ring again, try, Ring of Honor, please, try and make it funny. Make it more comical, because these are manager characters, not wrestlers. Yes, we now know they can wrestle, but we want to see some funny stuff. I mean, not every wrestling show has to be technical skill and spot. We like to laugh at some pro wrestling stuff every once in a while. Just don't do it overboard like the WWE does. The next up was the New York City Street Fight. Rhett Titus and BJ Whitmer versus the wrestling's oldest tag team. Yeah, Haas and Benjamin. Oh, fuck those two. I mean, God. Obviously, whoever signed them to Ring of Honor is obviously a humongous mark for these two guys. To me, when I watch them perform in Ring of Honor, it just, to me, they come off as just, they really actually don't give a shit about being in there. They're just there for the money. And, yeah, they are busting their asses a lot, but at times when I see them cutting promos and see how they act in the ring, I kind of sometimes feel like that's not them being in character. That's them being themselves. You know, that's just how I feel. Maybe I'm wrong. I don't know. But this match was okay. It started off with some funny shit with the Christmas candy canes and the Christmas tree and everything, but then it got ugly pretty quick, and it was actually a pretty decent street fight. I'll give the world's oldest tag team credit where credit is due. To me, the best part of the match was actually the damn finish. When BJ Whitmer got thrown off the top rope, and he landed head first in the fucking table. I went, oh my god. I don't care how scripted or how rehearsed it is, or I don't care how fake people think it is. I mean, that shit had to hurt. I mean, damn. If that dude doesn't have a concussion, he's fucking Superman. Oh god. But I'm glad BJ Whitmer's still alive after that spot. Haas and Benjamin go over, so obviously this is probably going to continue, whether we like it or not. But I will give it credit; it was a pretty good street fight. It had a little bit of a mix of everything. Had some wrestling, had some comedy, and then it had some ugliness. It was what it was. I thought it was pretty good. The Prodigy Mike Bennett versus Jerry Lynn. This is Jerry Lynn's last Ring of Honor match. Not his last wrestling match, it was his last match in Ring of Honor, because he said after the match he had 6 more matches left, but this was his last one in Ring of Honor. Mike Bennett, damn! This is a guy that I think Ring of Honor should be pushing to death. I mean, they should smash this guy over, because Mike Bennett is a great heel. I mean, this guy is good at pissing the fans off. He's got everything an old school heel has. He's got the good looks. He's got the swagger. He's got that whole attitude like I'm better than you and you know it shit. And he's got the hot girlfriend. He's got a manager that helps him weasel his way out of matches. He's damn near a perfect heel. I don't know why Ring of Honor's not pushing him more than they are. I mean, this guy should be in the main event. I understand he had a world title match with Steen and he lost. That's fine. But at least they're acknowledging that he could be a top contender in the future. You know, at the very least, they should have made him the television champion this year. They should have. But they gave it to Adam Cole instead. Whatever. I'm not dissing Adam Cole. I actually like him. But this was another good match. I'll give it credit. Bennett knows how to work in the ring as a heel. Very well done. And Jerry Lynn still got it. You know, even the crowd was chanting, "You still got it." Well, at least they were chanting that after the match was over. The booking of this match was just a little bit screwy. But in the end, I think the right guy went over. Mike Bennett gets the rub, and you know, when a wrestling star from the past, when a wrestling star who's still got a career is fixing to go out, you kind of want to let them give a rub to somebody who's wanting to get a good break in the business. And I honestly believe the right guy won. Mike Bennett gets the win. He wins in a cheap fashion, but he does get the win, and I thought that was good. But at the end, Lynn gets quick revenge, and then him and Nigel McGuinness have a celebration of his career, and that's followed by Jay Lethal coming out and spitting in Nigel McGuinness's face for not giving him a world title match, and further pushing the Jay Lethal thing, which honestly, I don't think the Jay Lethal thing should have immediately followed the Jerry Lynn segment, but I guess they were constricted on time or something, whatever. Mike Mondo comes out and cuts a promo talking about his crutches are bitch sticks, and he's ready to come. He'll be ready to come back soon and kick some ass. Good for him. And then Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish come out and pick on him, and then Davey Richards and Eddie Edwards come out, and it's the reunion of the American Wolves. There was somebody who reviewed this on YouTube, and I got to agree with them. I would rather see Davey Richards and Eddie Edwards as a tag team rather than singles wrestlers, because no disrespect to Richards and Edwards, but when I watch them wrestle singles matches, or hell, when I watch them wrestle tag team matches, a lot of their matches are basically nothing but spot, 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 and there's hardly any selling at all. I mean, somebody's going to hit you with a pile driver off the top rope, and you're just going to get right up and run off the ropes and hit him with a super kick. Give me a break. I thought Davey Richards was a decent Ring of Honor World Champion. It's just that his matches, along with Eddie Edwards' matches, I would love to see some more selling. You know, if a guy's going to kick you in the face, sell it. Make him think, oh, God, that fucking hurt. You know, like, the guy's going to kick you in the face and you just bounce off the ropes, hit him with a lariat? Bullshit. But this was a pretty okay match. It actually ended with like what I think was a referee stoppage, because Kyle O'Reilly was being bent in half with the Achilles lock from Eddie Edwards, and he was getting his head stomped on. So I think the referee stopped it. I don't think I saw Kyle O'Reilly tap out. I think the referee had to stop it. But correct me if I'm wrong on that. But it was a decent match. I thought it was okay, and hopefully in the future, Ring of Honor will wake up and tell Davey Richards and Eddie Edwards, hey, we don't mind so many spots, but don't do too many, and try to do some selling every once in a while. I mean, I'm getting sick and tired. I'm personally getting sick and tired of seeing professional wrestling trying to put MMA in there. MMA belongs in MMA. Pro wrestling belongs in pro wrestling. Don't mix the two together. It's like mixing chocolate and ketchup. You like them separately, but when you put them together, it tastes like shit. That's a line borrowed from Decompose, by the way. But I completely agree with that. MMA does not belong in pro wrestling. I'm sorry. The next match was Matt Hardy versus Adam Cole. I was thinking this was going to be for the Ring of Honor television title, but it wasn't. I don't know why, but given the outcome of the match, I'm kind of glad it wasn't for the TV title. Oh my God. Matt Hardy was getting like some John Cena heat at this show. I mean, the crowd was like vocally tearing Matt Hardy a new asshole. You know, they were going, fuck you, Hardy, fuck you, Hardy, fuck you, Hardy. Damn, they were brutal on Matt Hardy. You gotta believe it was probably eating him up a little bit that he had to perform in front of a crowd that just fucking hated his guts. Him and Adam Cole went out there and had a pretty good match. I don't know why Matt Hardy felt like he had to do so many goddamn side effects. I'm like, but yeah, Matt Hardy goes over in a cheap heel fashion. I don't know why Matt Hardy went over. I guess they're going to continue this feud. Maybe in the future have him and Adam Cole have a Ring of Honor television title match. I don't know. I honestly thought the wrong guy went over here again. I thought Adam Cole, and I thought Matt Hardy was going to come in and give Adam Cole a nice rub and help him get a bigger push in the future for Ring of Honor, but that didn't happen. I don't know why. I don't work at Ring of Honor, so I don't know. You'll have to ask them. But it was a good match. It was a good match for what it was. But you know, like I said, the wrong guy went over. In the next match, Ring of Honor Tag Team Championship match: Caprice Coleman and Cedric Alexander versus the Briscoes versus Scum, which was Steve Corino and Jimmy Jacobs. If you blinked, you probably missed this match. God damn, this match was short. I mean, really short. Did anybody tag anybody? I mean, wow, this match was a mess. This match was a mess. This was easily the worst match on the card. Easily the worst match on the card. It's like if you yawn and look back, it was over. I mean, it felt like a 20-minute match compressed into 5 minutes. Like spot after spot after spot. Everybody get a spot in. Everybody get a spot in. Oh, Corino, get that roll of quarters. Smack a guy with a roll of quarters. There you go. And then let's finish it with the Doomsday Device. 1, 2, 3. It's over. Really? That's it? It's over already? Shit. Okay, the Briscoes are now 8-time tag team champions, but really, this match was shit. I mean, it was shit. Way too short. I guess you could say the right guys went over here. I wouldn't have minded if Scum had kept the tag team titles. You know, maybe there could have been a booking decision where Coleman and Alexander were like arguing with the Briscoes and Scum gets a cheap victory roll-up or something like that to really piss the crowd off. But man, I was actually looking forward to this match, and when I saw it, I was very, very, very disappointed. This match was shit. If I had to give this a star rating, I'd give it a 1.5. Maybe, probably maybe 1.5 if it was lucky. God, this match was crap. And then the main event, Ladder War 4, Ring of Honor World Championship, El Generico versus Kevin Steen. This was a year in the making, technically, even though they're probably building it up since Showdown in the Sun when Kevin Steen beat El Generico in the Last Man Standing match. That was the show where Jimmy Jacobs came back and turned heel and joined Kevin Steen. But Ladder War, you know, I also think this is like the first time Steen and Generico got in the ring and there was no bloodshed. which I don't mind. I don't believe that every pro wrestling feud has to have a match where there's blood involved. You know, I can understand now that the wrestling business is trying to put a cease on the blood, you know, due to the whole due to the hepatitis scares and everything like that. I understand that, but this was still a damn good match. Was it as good as I thought it was going to be? Yeah, it was. But did it exceed the expectations? Just a little bit. I kind of felt like it had the right length of time. The right guy was dominating the match. It was Kevin Steen, the heel, the dominant heel. I think it was the right booking decision to have him dominate some of the match. The table spot at ringside, it delivered, but I honestly feel like it was slightly botched with the table on top of the ladder at ringside that was held up on the guardrails and the ring apron. I kind of got the sense that that was a little bit botched, but still it delivered to what it was supposedly going to look like. Of course, I think everybody's been talking about the way the match finished. The two ladders in the ring, with like two ladders propped inside in between the two, and Kevin Steen giving the package pile driver on the ladders to El Generico. That was a sick fucking spot. I mean, this is an example of a spot fest that works because there was selling. El Generico did a good job selling all those moves, especially how he would arch his back after a backbreaker or a suplex or something like that. This match had some good selling. There was plenty of spots, but the selling is what made it work. This was a match where I really didn't care who went over, because for me, it could have worked either way. If you were going to give the belt to El Generico, great. If you were going to have Kevin Steen retain the title, great. The booking could have worked either way, because El Generico a year ago, well, 2 years ago actually, quote unquote, ended Kevin Steen's Ring of Honor career before he would come back a year later and get it back. I mean, what better way to get revenge on El Generico for ending his career than beating him at the same event where it happened, Final Battle. You know, but at the same time, El Generico could have got his revenge for being, you know, beat down so many times earlier in the year. The booking could have worked either way, and that's why this match really, really worked, because you could have done it any way possible, and it would have been a great match. Would have been a good finish either way. So yeah, I really enjoyed this match. It had its flaws, but I was entertained as hell by it. And truthfully, you know, even though I like El Generico, there's a part of me that is a bigger mark for Kevin Steen, and I'm glad he's still the Ring of Honor World Champion. I think Kevin Steen could easily be one of Ring of Honor's best world champions, because, you know, that stipulation where he has to, every singles match he competes in has to be a Ring of Honor world title match, that kind of helps his character out a little bit. It kind of has an underdog spark to it, but to me, Kevin Steen works as a great heel world champion. Yes, he is a heel that gets cheered every once in a while. He gets cheered more than he gets booed, but Kevin Steen is a great heel, and he's a great world champion, and I really liked this match. The whole show overall, am I going to give it an 8.5, a 9, or a 9.5? No. This was a solid show. It had its flaws. In some of the matches, the wrong guy went over. Some booking decisions were wrong, in my opinion, so I'll be nice and give it a 7, maybe a 7.5 out of 10. It was a solid show. I enjoyed it. And if you want to check out this show, I would recommend getting a replay of it or something like that, or wait till it comes out on DVD and give it a watch. I thought it was a decent show. The only match I would recommend staying away from is the tag team title match. God, that match was shit. And that's my review for Ring of Honor Final Battle 2012. I'll see y'all later.